everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Navs Effect. I'm your host, Naveen Ganglani, and if I'm not mistaken, this should be episode 67, 68, somewhere there. But, I'm happy that we keep this podcast growing, and today we're going to keep the podcast growing by bringing in an incoming Ateneo Blue Eagle. Mr. Shawn Tuano is joining us. He is having, let's say, his introductory stages into becoming a UAAP eligible player. And right now, he is training with the team. He's building up some muscle, getting used to the Blue Eagles system. Of course, he's joining a squad mentored by a demanding head coach in Tab Baldwin, but also a program that consistently competes for UAAP championship. So there's a lot of pressure on Shawn, but he seems ready for the task, and we're going to get to know him a little more, get to see what he's like. But Shawn, thank you so much for joining me today, man. Appreciate it. How are you doing?
I'm good, Mr. Naveen. Thank you for the invite on the podcast. I'd like to thank you for writing that article about me, by the way.
You're
We
very
appreciate it.
welcome. You're very welcome. And if anyone is interested to know more about that, that is an article I wrote for Rappler. The title is Ateneo Bolsters Title Defense Bid with new recruit Shawn Tuano. So if you would like to read about Shawn and the kind of player the Blue Eagles are getting, make sure to read up on that article on Rappler. There's some numbers also there from Shawn's performances in his college in the States. Shawn, you have 2 or 3 years of eligibility again?
I think full
Oh,
five.
five. Yeah,
I'm pretty
five
sure.
rather. Yeah, correct. First of all, you had NCAA Division II offers in the States, but
That's true.
you
That's correct.
decided to go to the Blue Eagles to play here in the Philippines. You're a 6'3" guy who I believe can play guard and forward. You were discovered by Coach Tab during an open workout that Ateneo organized in California about some time ago. You were supposed to play last season, I think, but instead you're going to play this season, season 86 instead. So just tell us about what the future has in store for you and what kind of game you're going to bring to Ateneo's already deep and talented roster.
Yeah, they are very deep, especially in my position, the wing position. But I think I could bring shooting and good defense on the defensive end. I could play both sides. Me and my dad, we really worked on changing my form to make it more comfortable and have more confidence in my 3-point shot, because here, it is a little farther than high school, coming straight out of high school. So I had to, adjust to that 3-point line as well. I think that's what I could bring to the table.
Right. And just to add to some context to what we were discussing earlier, you were named the California Interscholastic Federation Southern Section Player of the Year, Division 5 AA, after leading your school, the Villanova Prep Wildcats, to their first CIFSS championship in 98 years. So before we talk Ateneo, I just want you to kind of tell me what that means to you. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the conference you might have played for probably isn't, let's say, as popular as some of the conferences or divisions in California, in your state alone, in the United States. But that doesn't take away from what you accomplished. A first championship for your school in almost 1 century. That's something that should give you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, when I first went into high school, my freshman and sophomore year, even though I was on varsity, I was still a bench warmer. I was on the bench until junior year. I met up with a trainer by the name of Matt Mazare. He really transformed my game to be able to play inside and outside. And with my growth spurt, he really elevated my guard skills, because in the beginning, I was only about maybe 5'9", 5'10".
Okay.
So we were really working on my ball handling, being able to see the court, have vision. And then from the junior year to senior year, I sprung up from 5'10" to 6'3". So I was able to play center, 1 through 5 guard, be able to guard 1 through 5 because of the skills. But yeah, the championship meant a lot to me, meant a lot to my team, meant a lot to Ojai, California. I was able through that championship run, I was able to get All-State, CIF Player of the Year, first team
Yes, sir.
All-State. So it's definitely a huge confidence boost. And it did mean a lot to me to win it.
Yeah, I think you had one game where you recorded like 8 blocks or something, right?
Yeah, that was junior year, I think. In a
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. I mean, yeah, you're a two-way player, and that's something that Coach Tab loves. But I'm sure that adjusting to his system and the style of play here isn't going to come easy. So it's a good thing you're bulking up, adding some muscle. But at the same time, there are other challenges that mentally you have to prepare for as well. You move to a new country. I'm
yeah,
assuming you're taking care of yourself for really the first time ever. And the competition just for minutes alone in your team alone, it's tough, right? So
yes.
what are some of the obstacles you've come across since moving to the Philippines, and how do you plan to kind of get past that so that you can shine sort of like how you did in your senior campaign in high school?
For starters, some of the obstacles are, guarding Sean Tuano, someone like him. He's a super strong guy, which taught me that no matter how big or strong you think you are, there's always somebody stronger than you.
Right.
Of course, guarding Forsky in practice, he's definitely one of the smartest players I've ever guarded. So usual or simple defensive tactics, won't necessarily work against him. You're gonna need to, definitely play defense smarter on him.
Tell me about your adjustment here in the Philippines life, outside of basketball, because obviously the basketball is kind of second nature to you. Like when you get on that court, I'm sure it feels comfortable, right? But how about life outside of it? Academics,
Mm.
adjusting to a new lifestyle, being in a new country. How's that been like?
Being in a new country, it is difficult. The currency and having to do all that stuff in your head. But the biggest change is, really being alone, like you mentioned, having to take care of myself for the first time in my 18 years of life.
Right.
Not just I can no longer just call my mom or dad, be like, hey, I need this, or can you get food, or I
Yeah.
really gotta, get the food myself, clean my own laundry, wash my own dishes,
Right.
change my sheets, stuff like that. So the change has been pretty drastic. It's really a big learning curve. I love the new experiences though that I'm experiencing being an adult for the first time, and I'm hungry for more experiences to come in the Philippines.
Yeah, you can't just casually like go home after a game now and chill, have your mom or dad help you out, bring you some food. Now you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
come home, there's like a pile of dishes waiting for you, waiting to be
yep.
cleaned, some laundry you gotta get to and stuff like that. But hey, it's gonna go a long way in helping develop you not just as a basketball player, but also as a human being. So I'm
Yes.
gonna share my screen here for a bit. And the reason why I wanna do that is because I wanna do you see my screen right now?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
this picture that was posted by Team AMDG, a big time Ateneo Twitter account. You guys should follow it. Your muscle development here, September 2022, this was posted by Tumakbo to
Mhm.
February 2023. And it's just evident how much muscle you've built up, how much bigger you've gotten in a few months since training with the Ateneo Blue Eagles. So tell us about that journey because I'm not sure if you like downed a bunch of protein shakes every day. But it seems like you packed on a lot of weight there in a good way.
Yeah. Well, when I went to that little recruitment process through Ateneo, they flew me out here for a week to try to see if it's the best fit for me. After that week, I came back to the States, had a conversation with my parents in relation to my body. Because when I flew over here for the first time, I'm also a two-sport athlete. I swam and did water polo in high school as well.
Oh, nice.
So my body was kind of slimming down, to get faster in the water. I was a freestyler, 50
Right,
meters.
right.
Yeah, my body was really skinny when I came over here, and I had a conversation with my dad on in terms of what to do with my body, and we spoke about building muscle in these areas, helping me to get stronger and how it will impact my game for the better. And my dad is a doctor, so he really knows my body well. Um, I do have sensitive kidneys, so we tried to stray away from protein shakes in the beginning.
Okay.
And so when I was first lifting, throughout the first 3 4 weeks in the first month, I wasn't really getting that many muscle progress in
Mm.
my weightlifting training. So I just told my dad, I said, hey, let's just try it out. If it works, it works. But if it doesn't, then obviously, and due to my kidneys, the sensitivity, then it didn't intake it. But the protein worked, and
Okay.
so my dad's program, his regimen for me, well, with the evidence and proof, yeah, I was able to grow.
When you say sensitive kidneys, is that something you've always had? And what are some of the challenges that you deal with because of that condition?
Yeah, so I can't really eat spicy food.
Right.
I have a lot of acid reflux. I think I got it from my mom. She has this stuff a lot. But the challenges are, yeah, I have to really watch what I drink. And so sometimes it could impact my recovery and my nutrition intake. So those are some of the struggles that I have with this.
How do you deal with that? Let's say, for example, that it kind of acts up in the moment. Is it something that's like really painful? Is it something that goes away rather quickly? And does that impact you on the basketball court as well?
I remember one incident last year. It was in the playoffs. I think third round against Malibu. I came down with a sickness due to my kidneys because I forgot what I ate. I think it was some spicy ramen or something like that the night before, and the whole day my stomach was just it came in waves of just hurting and hurting and hurting. And
No.
I would say that in some ways it can impact me on the court, but I just really have to watch what I'm drinking, eating, making sure that my body can handle it correctly. So I think that's the main struggle with it.
What have you enjoyed about life in Katipunan so far? Your new surroundings, because there's a lot of food options around, so you have more than spicy food options, that's for sure.
Yes,
But at the
that's true.
same time, taking care of yourself, being in that environment, how has it shaped the person you are now?
You know, Katipunan is a very fast moving place.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
faster than where I came from. But
Everything's
yeah,
slow in California, man.
yeah, that's
Everything
real.
is
That's
slow
real.
in California, but keep
That's
going,
real.
yeah.
But the food options are good here. I use Grab a lot, but I would also like to say, thank you to my grandma, Elizabeth Jose. She comes down from Guginto, Bulacan. Ilang
Wow.
ilang brings me food sometimes, but not sometimes, like once a week at least. She brings me food, and that's really a big help because I really enjoy
Home
the
cooked meals.
Filipino delicacies, the real Filipino food. Not just here chicken and rice for McDonald's or something like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah. Yeah, after
yeah,
a
so
while, when you've had Grab or takeout so often, after a while, it's just like you need a home cooked meal, right?
that's true.
Because I got my own place about like a year and a half ago, and then there will be days consecutively where I get Grab, I get takeout, I'll buy something, and like at a certain point, I'm like, I just want my mom's cooking,
It
and
can definitely get unhealthy. Yeah, that's true.
definitely, yeah, the home cooked meal fresh from the oven on the dining table, nothing beats that. Nothing beats
That's
that.
true. That's right. Yep.
Have you gotten close to any of your teammates yet? Anyone you bonded with, built relationships with?
Yeah, I feel like because I can speak Tagalog, I was able to fit in well with the Philams and the homegrowns that were from here, from the Philippines.
Okay.
Um, but I think I'm really close with, Mason Amos, Albert Pena, Kai Balungay, mainly the Philams. JC Federer, I'm really close with him as well.
And Coach Tab, how has the relationship been like with Coach? I know that Coach went to see you in California and was impressed by you, but I'm sure there's some developmental aspects to that relationship you have to build with here in the Philippines, particularly, especially because Coach Tab, he's a friendly guy, but when it comes to the basketball court, he means business.
Yeah, it's definitely not really a challenge, but you really have to earn his trust within the system and the system that he's trying to build with the players. So I think that's the main goal of mine is to have him trust me on the court. I can be a good teammate, a good contributor, someone who can run the system well and score within the system. And I think that's the relationship I'm trying to build with him.
Did you get to watch the Ateneo UP finals games last season live at the arena?
No, not live. I was watching them on YouTube highlights with my dad. That's was some of our bonding moments. So it was really a good finals to watch.
Are you prepared for that? Because I know you've had crowds back home in the States, but nothing close to like 24,000 people screaming at the top of their lungs, trying to mentally screw you over.
Well, for anyone's first time, I'm not sure if they're really prepared for that. But I have played in a championship game. There was about maybe 1,200 people there in my CIF Championship game. I wasn't really rattled by the pressure. So I think it's as long as I stick to my game routine and just remain calm and know that I put in the work, be confident in my game, I think the pressure and the crowd and the loud craziness of the crowd won't really get to me.
Okay, Shawn Tuano of the Ateneo Blue Eagles, ready for what comes next. Aside from basketball and obviously academics, what are some of the other, let's say, hobbies or passions that you will want to try out while you're here in the Philippines? Or even if it's not exactly like a second job next to basketball, what are some of the downtime activities you like to do?
Back in the States, I was actually a guitar player.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a little cool Yamaha guitar in my room. I couldn't bring it here, but I wish I could bring it here.
I was gonna ask you
Uh,
to play us a song.
so I really want to carry on that hobby of playing the guitar. And then every Saturday as well, we call it Saturday hikes. Me and my dad always chose a new path to go on our hike. Sometimes we bring my mom, sometimes she's a little busy. So I'd like to carry on that tradition, find some nature out here in the city, hopefully find a hike.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's what I'd like to do.
there are gonna be a lot of mountains that you can go to. Pinatubo for one.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if you can climb Taal right now. You should probably research that, but I did that before. Who do you think from your teammates would be fun to take on a hike? You think Mason would be like chilling the whole time?
Maybe he'd probably be telling some jokes or something in his little Australian accent. But
All right.
yeah, I
Can you,
think
can you
yeah.
can you try copying Mason when he speaks with his Aussie accent? Like just try to copy something he says usually.
He'd be like, "Oi, Sean, get back on defense," something like that.
Just with that deep voice, right? Like the deep
Yeah,
straight
something like
voice. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Let's keep this going. So who's the funniest guy on the team?
Funniest guy, an underrated funny guy is Ian. He's super funny.
Okay.
Uh, just the way that he, sometimes his responses are super funny. But someone that's funny around the team is Alvaro Pena. I think
Okay.
he's one of the funniest guys I've came across. His jokes are elite.
The-
They're top tier.
Can Coach Tab get funny sometimes, or is he just like serious all the time?
For sure, for sure. He's funny guy. He's got that, like not that young humor, but that old humor. He's
Right.
especially in the film room, his jokes are sometimes his jokes fly over our head, but sometimes when they connect, it's super funny. Yeah.
Are there ever those moments where Coach Tab makes like an old guy joke and none of you get it, but he's just laughing by himself?
Yeah, he laughs with Coach Alton all the time. Sometimes we don't get it. So
What are film room sessions like? Because as basketball players, I'm sure it sucks sometimes to like see you like miss a defensive assignment or be lazy, and then the whole team sees it, and then the coach
mhm.
will point it out. Obviously, it's a hit to your pride, but at the same time, you kind of need it to let go of your ego and improve, right?
Yeah, you know, for me in my basketball experience, I've never had a film room before.
Oh,
And so this is very interesting to me, like as my first time really watching film, being able to break it down, like here's like what's going on, here's what you have to do. And I just like to listen to, Coach Tab and the way he breaks down offenses and defenses. It's really something I've never seen and heard before in real life. I think he has like 40 years, some experience in basketball. It's truly interesting to be inside that film room, watching how he sees the game, how he interprets the game, and really what he says about the game. It really works. And I think that's in due part to Ateneo's success is because of him.
awesome. Just before I let you go here, aside from Ateneo, did any other school try to recruit you?
Yes, I had, I think FEU, and
Right.
then UP had some interest, but they never reached back out again. and I think NU, National University, I think is one of
Okay.
them.
So UP, somewhat interested, NU, FU, and Ateneo. And ultimately, what sold you to Ateneo?
Just Coach Tab. I really just wanted to learn from the best coach in UAP. And I think that I can bring a lot to his system and a lot to the team of Ateneo. I think I can contribute. So that's really what sold me.
Awesome. Shawn Tuano, everybody. Shawn, thank you so much for joining me today. That was so fun, and I'm really excited to see what you can provide on the basketball court. Until then, try to get Mason on one of those hikes soon.
I will. Thank you so much, Mr. Naveen.
Appreciate you, bro.